Good day, everyone. Good day, good day. It is Monday, July the 29th, 2024. And yesterday, we got all the fucking news that we've been waiting to hear. I'm so excited to bring it to you with Anthony and Dave. But Anthony's working out what the heck's going on with his camera. So let's welcome Ugly Dave Claxton all the way from Canada. Dave, how are you?
Good. If I ever move, you'll have to do a whole new intro thing. It could get really awkward.
You can never move. You will stay there forever.
I got Canadian tattoos anyway, so it wouldn't matter. I'd still be.
What do you got? Have you shown me before? What do you got?
No. Like I got like a Canadian aviator guy here, and I got the little leaf on the top there.
What's that? What's the black thing?
Oh, it's like a whole fighter helmet thing.
Were you in the Royal AF? Were you in the?
No, I wasn't. I was not. Actually, it was one of those things I regretted as a kid, never getting into any kind of military service. Was one of my few regrets. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sure I've asked you this before. I've been talking like this for a few years now.
Yes.
So I guess what I want to ask you is, of all the news that came out yesterday, where would you like to start? What are you most excited about or most want to talk about?
Oh, man, there's a lot. I was kind of hoping I want to wait for Anthony too, because I'm interested because I think my opinion probably differs from your guys. I will start with a positive.
What? Wait a minute. You're making it sound like some god-awful Spartan announcement. You're like, well, I'll start with the positives. This is all good news from what I can tell, but go ahead. What is your positive?
My first positive I'm going to start with, I'm really glad to see that they're upping the drug testing. I think that's awesome that they're putting in the money in it. It's to the point now where the only critique about the drug testing I can have is that, like, sadly, it seems that the using of the drugs is so much further ahead than the testing. And that's not on HYROX. There's nothing they can do about that. That is what it is. So good for them for upping that and throwing the money in. And I think that's great. I really, to me, shows a lot of legitimacy to grow the sport. But yeah. That's my positive out of the gate.
All right. Well, Anthony's here. You good? Everything working, buddy?
You tell me. Does it come on now?
Yes, you sound great.
Awesome.
You can't see me.
No idea what was wrong. Found out that I had to update. Had to restart my internet to update.
Well, if you look under my name, under my title, it says pumped. And I came on here pumped. And Dave's trying to bring us down. I don't know what he has. He has some problems with yesterday's news, which to me was all good.
What?
And he started with a positive, which he said something about drug testing. I thought you'd want to talk about the qualifications first.
I do, but I wanted to wait for Anthony. So
I just asked you what you wanted to talk about first. That's all.
So I was doing the little fish. because I wanted Anthony to be here to do.
Well, you should have just said that then. You threw me off.
It restarted. I didn't get to hear that. What?
I just said that I think it's great that they're putting more into the drug testing and that they're going to have that at the majors as well as at the Worlds. And I think it's fantastic. I mean, I said that there's really nothing I can critique other than the fact that the testing seems to always be behind the drugging. But that's not HYROX.
That's every sport. That's not.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they're doing the best they can. I'm happy with that.
People come up with new cocktails and you don't know about it until years later. So
there's hundreds, dare I say thousands, competing in Paris right now that have probably taken something and that aren't going to get caught. Sorry, guys. Sorry to blow your.
No,
but that's how it goes.
Yeah, it is what it is.
There'll always be
not on HYROX. Good for them.
There'll always be a percentage looking for that extra edge. So I had the benefit of knowing this a couple of weeks and really wanted to tell everybody, and hearing this new qualification process. For those that don't know, and there is part of the qualification system I have a problem with, but a new piece is you can't get in based on one time. You got to get in on the average of your best two, which I think we had all discussed in one form or another. And the added bonus of it lasts 12 months. So when the clock strikes 365, boom. For example, Rylan Shadegg has 2 times. After Amsterdam, boom, those are gone. And he will no longer be qualified. So he has to race again. So to me, again, the number of spots already taken I have a problem with, but I love the new you got to do 2 times. So what do you think about that, Dave, Mr. Negative?
Well, I can argue it is a small step in the right direction. I can also argue it is a small step in the wrong direction. Problems I have with it. One, now 2 times being the thing, making it even more difficult for North American athletes to get in. So now they have to have, there's just not enough time to do it. There's not enough time to get in your races. It's what it is right now is it's much easier for like the people who are already qualified, who have major wins and in the worlds, easier to keep the status quo. But if you're trying to break in, it makes it even more difficult now.
I thought we're trying to keep out the riffraff. We're trying to keep out the Berlin Timminghofer 56 times that they would never get again. I thought that was the whole point. But as I'm making that point, let me bring in my first of what might be several special guests today. Hang on. Let me just bring in the guest and then you can speak. Special guest today, who's currently qualified in the Elite 15. Haven't seen her in a while. She's been out there on the trails. We haven't seen her at the HYROXs, but there she is. You got some sun from following Hannah around. We'll get to that in a minute, Chris. Go ahead, Coach. Tell me what you think about this the qualification system.
Well, first, I just want to say it's awesome that we keep going in the right direction. They make adjustments and it goes in the right direction. It's not perfect. It's never going to be perfect. Everybody's going to have a complaint at some point. Like if you go more like the direction they're going, people that are sad about it or that it affects in a different way, that they go down the leaderboard, they're going to be upset. People that go up the leaderboard, they're going to be happy. So some groups can get mad, but they're putting it in a positive direction. One thing this does is last year, if you remember at this time, Bell came out and said, this takes away the ability to do rookies, like rookies to have a season the way she did. And you could argue that now the way it's set up, that's actually more true. Now, really the only opportunity for a rookie, especially in North America, but is going to be to get to the LCQ, which is one single race. But because I mean, the idea of a rookie being able to get 2 times in that qualify for the major before, basically they're going to have to do it before the new year, and which at this point is traveling all around to get to the last 2 majors. If you're a rookie, you're looking at the LCQ. That's really your best opportunity. But I mean, I look at it, I think it's a step in the right direction. Matt, I'm with you. There's a lot of auto qualifiers. Like, I'm not always a fan of auto qualifiers. So, but yeah, I mean, I think a few years ago, Dave, I said to you, like, there should be 0 auto qualifiers.
I'm down with 0, no autos.
Otherwise, it does let these athletes plan. Like, you have 5 women and 7 men now that can actually plan their season. And then others who are hopeful that are probably pretty secure. Like, I doubt people like Seka Arning and Lucas Storath are going to get bumped out. One thing I really did like, if you guys didn't hear it, they're not giving more auto qualifiers all to 4th and 5th place at majors. You only get an auto qualifier if you're not already auto qualified and you win a major.
Yeah, so that is a good thing, because then that would pollute the top 15 in no time.
Yep. So basically, the people that are auto qualified now are going to remain auto qualified unless we get like 1 or 2 outliers.
Chris, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
You heard the news. Unlike the rest of us that were like glued on social all day, you were probably, enjoying the mountain air because you're so cash. But I know you have thoughts, because I messaged you and I said, did you see that you're in, and would you like to talk about it? So what do you think?
Well, I think the first question is, am I a rookie at this point?
What qualifies as a rookie?
I don't think you can go from former champion to rookie. Yeah. I don't think you can re-rook.
You don't go from world champion to rookie, and especially when one of the majors is where you won your world championship. So
here's the thing though, is I haven't raced recently enough. I'm in for the first, or at least the first major, but I will not be, one of my times will drop off, and I have no other times in the past 365 days by the time the major gets to the US.
So you're just going to have to race that first major and put up a time.
Okay. Well, here's another thing.
Or fly to Japan.
Everything's
China.
sold out. Everything's sold out. Am I supposed to be able to like get into these races because they're sold out, and like, am I
basically everything
rookie out of luck?
The New Year is sold out? But are you going to go to Amsterdam? Like,
Am I what?
I think
if you go to Amsterdam, that time counts.
When even is Amsterdam?
October for you guys, October 10th, I think. It's Thursday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing I don't like. That Thursday night thing is.
I love it. I love it, Dave.
Oh no, people need
You
to take an extra
Anthony,
day off work. They need to travel. Like that's just asking more out of people.
I think Anthony just loves it because Dave does not like it.
Yeah, well, that's
sometimes
it keeps the thing going.
So, yeah, before you got on, you might have not have heard me, but like Rylan will lose his times as soon as the first major happens. His races are both about a year ago, come October, November. So
he's not the only one. There's others that'll happen to.
But he's the fastest that we know of. Rylan's like fourth qualified or fourth best. But
second outside of autos.
So here's my big problem. I thought he said to me, and he might have had it wrong, or maybe they changed it, but I thought what he said to me was, we're not rolling down that far anymore. And so when I saw, oh, you're still getting in from fifth place at a major, there's 7 spots, so half the spots are taken. Like that's nuts.
Well, that's because they're auto qualifiers. They said previously, and they're not going to go back on it, that if you win a major, literally the men's side is the maximum.
If you win a
maximum,
major,
the maximum on the men's side was taken because a different man won every single major last year.
If I were doing it, okay, here's what I would say. 1, 2, 3 in the world, cool, you're in. Everyone else, it's your fastest 2 times. Everyone else.
I mean,
and then let the field do what it does. So we had a quick chat in the offline before this started about they typically stop it 2 weeks before the major for a time. And so Toronto won't even count, like the only one we have in North America. So I get that might be unfair if someone qualifies and makes plans, but they got to give us that one. Don't you think? I messaged them and asked, they got to give us Toronto.
No, it only doesn't qualify you for Amsterdam, but it can qualify you for the rest. So from their perspective,
right. But now your year is that much shorter. There's only 4.
Europe only has 1, and that's Stuttgart. That's 2 weeks before.
All right, fine.
So it's basically just APAC. APAC and South Africa are the only places, and South Africa has 1.
But guess what? If your first race ever is APAC, that you're not in. You have to race at least twice.
Well, there's 3 or 4 going on in APAC before the first major.
I'm just saying that if for some reason that course happens to be insanely fast, we just can't. You're not going to do that thing that we all feared, which was the German airport course. Now,
I don't know.
Now, I don't want to
peg 2 courses, man. Like it's just even if it's still an average, it's still an average. You can still that good course is still going to contribute getting to your average. So it's still the same. It's not
but it really does help because like unless you're getting 2 amazing courses that are 3 minutes faster than everything else, you're not a minute and a half. I mean, look at this, like 20 seconds can knock you way down. In some of these,
and that's areas. What I'm saying. So if you get a course that is 3 minutes faster, and you have one other one that's a regular, you're not 3 minutes faster, but you're a minute and a half faster, and that's still huge when 20 seconds can put you down 10 spots.
Chris? What did you run in Vegas? Do you remember?
In Vegas in 2022, 107 something, 30 something maybe.
And then what? And then you've done 1 single since then.
No, I've done several singles.
Oh, okay. Well, you just said you only have one. You only have one.
No,
race.
But in the past 2 like year, 365 days.
Your 2 times are 104.5 and 104.13.
Okay, and what do you need to be? And what do you need to be in the Elite 15 for the win in these days? What are the 2 average needs to be? What's the bottom?
104.19.
09.
All right, so you just got to move that up a little bit.
Yeah, well, I also have not raced in almost a year, and I've been broken and laying on the couch. So
are you ready to be less broken?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not broken anymore, but I just haven't done any HYROX. And so we shall see. But now all of a sudden I have to try to figure out if I can race ASAP. And that wasn't really a part of the plan.
So what do you have now? 10 or 11 weeks till Amsterdam. So
yeah, I can't do Amsterdam. I'm working that weekend.
So you got to find,
but you're always working unless you ask for it off, aren't you?
No, but this is an actual weekend I am signed up to. I don't normally work on the weekends. That just happens to be a weekend I am working.
So you got Chicago or Dallas then, but those are both sold out, aren't they?
Yep. Totally sold out. I'm running doubles at those because I was planning to kind of, ease back in. And then And then I wasn't sure about doing a pro at LA. As soon as I saw this, I was like, okay, I got to do pro in LA. It's
Yeah, you
sold
gotta
out.
do-
So
Oh,
So
really?
Other than
that-
yeah.
That would
So,
replace your LA one from 12-16 last year.
yeah. And then I would be all right.
You'd be
but-
good.
okay, so this begs another question.
Mhm.
Other than Chris, like if I'm you, Chris, I'm just gonna go cool. I'm gonna interview the people that I'm gonna interview. I'm gonna email the people that I know and try to get in.
Mhm.
And should that be what people do, or should they start holding spots back or limiting who can sign up for pro? If you've never done a pro, or if your best pro is like 2 hours, like, do you see what I'm saying?
No,
Yeah.
they should not limit.
No,
who
they
signs
should not
up for
do that.
pro
Not
at
only
all.
should we make this difficult
That's-
for the rookie, let's make it
Yeah.
impossible.
Yeah, no, they should not. They should
Yeah,
not limit who signs up for pro at all. That's
It's
not
a
what
who's
they're.
who you know is not what. Yeah, who you know, not what you do. That's no good.
Okay, well, so then Chris and whoever else is bouncing around and who knows they're going to need to get in there, like, all has to, you know what I mean? Oh, read that email. Who's AZ Bev?
No idea.
Is that Bevilacqua? Is this Bevilacqua?
Mm.
And Heather just said
Maybe.
Dallas isn't
Probably
sold
could be.
out.
Oh, maybe I'll run pro in Dallas. All right,
Okay.
Heather to the rescue.
Okay. So, also, if this is Amy, I think she's saying, did you get
It
an
is
email?
Amy.
Okay,
Yeah,
it is Amy. Okay. So here's a question. Did you get an email from Intra?
No,
Okay.
I emailed Mintra this morning, yesterday.
Right. And this is part of my issue with why would you send information to just 30 people? Like, just put it out at once. I guess that you've earned maybe, but the fact that the rest of the elites got the top 30 got an email, and then everyone else is supposed to learn it through social media posts.
Well, they were
But-
going to announce it on Christian's personal page on Instagram. and YouTube.
Exactly.
And they thought
Exactly.
they would do it
If we were,
different.
that's what would happen. It would be Mo's personal LinkedIn when he's talking about the Olympics. But they didn't include all that information. They included some of it. They didn't even include the drug test part publicly. Did you not notice that, by the way? I realized that. I was like, Greg hasn't mentioned it. Nobody had mentioned it. I was like, oh, I'm going to post this. And I got the years wrong, by the way. So thank you, Jack Bauer, for pointing out I put 23-24 instead of 24-25. It says she's in the top 30. She should have gotten it. Well, I'm just saying everybody should have gotten it. If they're going to give the elites, if you're going to give the top 30 a day in advance because you think they've earned it, fine. But then everybody else gets the same information. Not, oh, you didn't get this email from Mintra about how to do something. Again,
Yeah.
it's Dave Castro
Why would the top 30 need a day ahead of time to know this?
because they think it's a big deal to help them out.
What if it's a big deal?
So we get our spot before it gets sold out.
a little too late for that.
But that's all too
Oh, well, I
late.
didn't get the
Okay,
email.
Heather. Sorry. What is your name? Anthony. What is the benefit to athletes getting it 12 hours or 24 hours before everybody else?
Well, I would say that that way they would be aware of what races to sign up for, but they were all sold out before that point.
Right. So then
I
there
think-
is no point.
I think
Well-
they just want at least 60 people to know about it before you do.
Before me, absolutely. The email did specifically say, if you tell the media, we will never send this to you again.
Does it?
It does say that.
Oh. Maybe
But-
that's why I don't get it anymore.
Maybe. Listen, I've always said if you tell 2 people something, you can't keep a secret, let alone 30. It's a little silly to think. So either don't share it at all or give everybody the same information and just say anyway. So if Dallas isn't sold out, you've got to do Dallas. And you live in what? That's like a short flight for you, right? From Utah or Colorado, wherever you live.
Yep.
And you're Texas, and you're Texas people, right?
Yep. I'm already going to be at Dallas. I was just going to run doubles and have a good time, but now I'm going to take it seriously, I guess.
Okay. Did you have fun in France? You went to France, right?
Yeah.
How was
Had a
that?
great time.
How was that?
Yeah, it was great. We took a train up north and hiked around on some mountains, did a little Via Ferrata, portions of a Via Ferrata. Yeah, had a great time. My brother was there the whole time, so we just kind of walked a lot, explored a lot, ate a lot of croissants.
I think it's pronounced croissant.
Look, I'm from Texas. It's croissant. It's croissant.
Are you doing men's doubles or women's doubles or mixed doubles? Sorry.
I was gonna go for men's. I'm doing women's doubles.
Who are you racing with?
My best friend, my childhood best friend, lives in Dallas.
That's
gonna be her
awesome.
first one. I think she's gonna actually crush it. She's training. She ran her first marathon a couple months ago, and we're gonna have a good time. And then I'll run pro.
What do we think about major being in Vegas and not Chicago and or DC like we all thought?
Best place it could possibly be.
Yes.
I'm good with that too.
Get it off the East Coast, bring it over here every year.
Yes.
Okay.
Vegas is easy to get to.
Vegas is extremely easy to get to from anywhere. It's cheap flights. It's easy to get around. Like there's not like a better city you could put it in.
Everyone wants to go there anyways, and I happen to like it there. I have good luck there, so I'm ready.
I'd be coming from Toronto, and I still say Vegas is good.
Yeah.
It's unanimous.
It's the best place they could put it. And what's really cool is if they ever did want to do like, you know how they do these like iconic venues. There's a lot of places they could do an iconic venue, and I don't have a problem doing an iconic venue for a major because the major matters for everybody there. It's not like, if you're going there to run a good time, but if they were able to get it, it might be at the convention center again.
Yeah, I have bad news for you. It's not very epic. It's just the convention center.
The convention center is pretty awesome if you don't know that anyway. It's got that tunnel and everything now that they had. So
Anthony's got some Vegas pride here.
It's a big giant convention center. Hopefully like the Rock Zone won't be like it was at Worlds. They can make it a really cool like setup like they've had in the previous major and Worlds venues. But they could do it if they want an iconic venue at the Allegiant Stadium. They could do it at T-Mobile Arena, the Thomas and Mack Center. They could do it at like a rodeo place.
If it was going to happen at any of those you just mentioned, maybe Thomas Mack. It's not happening at fucking Allegiant. Are you kidding me?
Can you imagine how awesome that would be?
It would be great, except it would look super empty because
they had it. They had it at that stadium in Singapore.
And it looked super empty.
It did look super empty, but you don't pan up to all the empty seats. You keep them. You
keep the hard camera
in one area.
Put the hard camera in the right place. Dave knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Anthony, do they have swamp coolers?
Yeah. So they can cool down the convention center.
Vegas knows,
but it doesn't matter. It's in January 31st. Like it's going to be like a low temperature of 45 degrees and a high of 55.
Yeah.
And we were talking. I don't know how interested people would be about this, but maybe organize like some kind of hike out to Red Rock the day after the event or something. Cool. Like just get a big group of people, go out to Red Rock Canyon or Gold Strike Canyon, like anywhere that people could hang out and go hiking. We'll talk about different things we could possibly do.
Going to Red Rock is worth Vegas trip.
Red Rock? Yeah, I love Red Rock.
Everyone's going to get all their white racing shoes dirty.
Well, you wear trail shoes.
Do these people have trail shoes?
Hiking shoes.
Chris is wearing the Ultras. She's back in the right shoes.
They did an RMR group, and I think it was a first trail run for several of these people at camp.
Wow.
We might want to add trail shoes to this.
So are you saying that was an issue at RMR camp? Everyone was like, fuck, my white Pumas are all dirty. That's what happened?
Oh, no, I don't think so. They kept it pretty tame.
Okay.
But I just noticed.
Were you a participant? Were you a coach? Were you a player coach? What was your participation like in the Irmer camp?
I just showed up.
Nice.
I showed up for a day because I was in town, or I was like home, and came and hung out for a day, and then I had plans for the night.
Celebrity guest appearance.
I was gonna say you're just a celeb.
Yeah, that's me.
Chris,
I had to go.
Are you still wearing the Ultras?
Always.
Have you tried the Mount Blanc carbon one?
No, I haven't.
I have them. They're nice. They have a little bit of grip now.
Yeah, I've been doing a bunch of trail miles in my Lone Peaks.
Nice.
I gotta go in about 5 minutes.
Well, that's all the time we have for you, Chris.
Actually,
thanks for
I
joining
got
us.
one question for Chris before she goes.
Okay.
So new system, yay or nay?
Mm-hmm. I personally, I do appreciate it. It was kind of nice to see, because I had looked before they updated the list and I was 24th, and I was like, okay, that's fair. I got to work my way in. But then when they updated it and I ended up in 14th, it was a little satisfying to see like a lot of the people around me had a very fast time and then had an average time. And I was like, okay, it kind of evens out these people get a super fast course. Cool. But they've never done another fast time. And so they're still up there. Like they've earned that spot, but it's not like all of a sudden they're, 7th and I'm back here in 15th, but like I'm actually a pretty consistently up there person.
So Chris, you want to see, I just started trying to share if Matt wants to share it. I have the difference between if they use last year's qualification versus what this year's is up here. So if they had used last year's qualification and updated this, Chris, you would have been in 18th.
Okay.
So still on the outside looking in, right?
Mm-hmm.
But with the new qualification and the averages, you become 14th. And you're not the only one that goes from just outside or outside to in. That includes Kate and Lauren Griffith as well. Also went from inside to out or outside to inside.
Yeah.
And a couple people that fell out, as you can see, like through here is, where's it at? Yana, I believe, fell out. Tara fell out. Amy fell out. Michaela jumped way up, and Jennifer Nicholas fell out.
Yeah. Like I said, it works well for me. And like Lauren Griffith obviously should be up there. Like there's definitely some names that I feel like it does kind of.
All right. We'll definitely dig more into that because I want to look at some of that data. But thank you, Chris, for joining us. Says, see you in Dallas, Chris. Peace out, Chris with a C.
Chris,
see you later.
Chris.
See you later.
Good luck, Chris.
All right. That is just but one of many special guests you may be seeing here on the program. That's what I do. Don't you love it, Dave? You love surprise guests. Anthony hates it.
That's great to see Chris. I mean, because she's like not been doing a lot lately, recovering. So
look at this, Monique in the house. Monique is just waking up. Maybe Monique will join us. Monique, would you guys want to have Monique join us from Aussie land to
it's
big, huge?
8 a.m. there. She might not just be waking up. She might have been up for a little bit. You don't know.
Maybe
she's an early bird.
All right. Well, let's while I'm seeing if she's available.
I'd have been up for 5 hours.
What? Shut up, Dave. Quit showing off. Hey, man. So I don't know if I told you this, but there, depending on your TV, right? Like if you've got a Roku TV or a Samsung TV, like you get like live TV, but they give you weird different channels. So ours was sort of stuck on the Portlandia channel for a while. Like anytime you like come off of YouTube or come off of Netflix, that's what my wife would watch. My wife and I would watch them as you watch 2 or 3 episodes. And then for me, we were watching a lot of Dog the Bounty Hunter. There is a new one. I don't know how long it's been in existence, but it's the Ice Road Truckers channel. And Portlandia and Dog the Bounty Hunter, I've seen them all. There's several seasons of Ice Road Truckers that I had not seen. There are truckers I didn't even know existed. There's this guy named Pork Chop. So every time I get to watch that stuff, Dave, I love hearing the accents. I love seeing the plight of the working man. I think about you all the time. Talking about going up there to Yellowknife and going up there to fucking connect to Cuck. What's it called? Tuk. How do you say it? Tuk. I mean, 700 miles south in Tuk. Anyway,
so I worked at the end of the ice road.
See?
I worked at a place called Divek Diamond Mines, it's about 250 miles as a crow flies north of Yellowknife in Northwest Territories.
So right at the beginning of the ice road?
So you can only get there by ice road or flying in, and the ice road's only open for certain times of the year.
Right. By the way, you could never get me on the ice road. Like they always, at the end of the season, it's always like, oh boy, it's getting testy, and they show it cracking. It's like, forget it. Maybe when I was young, like some of these young drivers, my age now, forget it. Way too scared. You would not get me in the ice road.
Hey, that makes me think. Have you ever seen those glass bridges, like in China and stuff? Would you ever go on those, Matt?
Dude, I used to get scared as a kid. There's a couple of really long bridges in Florida that are like just scary, because you're on them forever. But anyway.
What about like glass floor? So like you're coming for Toronto HYROX. Would you go up in the CN Tower and stand on the glass floor? I'd probably do it. Like it's not something I would be in a hurry to do, but if some people were like, hey Matt, we're all gonna go and then do the thing where you can lean forward, I'd probably do it. But it's not number one on my list. I'd rather go for a run. I'd much rather go for, hey Matt, this is my favorite fucking trail, or this is my favorite sub shop. I'd rather do one of those two things.
Have you seen some of those glass bridges that they have with the glass floors? They put like holographic stuff on it now, so when some people step on it, it'll display a crack. It'll pretend to crack on them, and people like freak out and start crawling. In just certain panels, would that freak you out, Matt? If you were on that glass bridge and all of a sudden you stepped in a not a real crack, but a computer generated crack?
I want to know. I want to know if you have a favorite sub place. That's what I want to know. Dave.
Sub?
Yeah,
No.
Dave. Do you have a favorite sub shop?
No, not really. No.
Okay. Where should I get my cheat meal after my amazing doubles on Sunday?
I think it's called I can't remember. I'll send you, but it's like Berntino pizza or something like that. Very good pizza. Very good pizza. I like it. It's on Instagram. It's crazy looking pizza. It looks amazing. So I would go.
I expect you guys to roll out the red carpet. This Toronto HYROX better be a big fucking deal. You guys are like, bring us one. You're finally getting one. This thing better be fucking awesome.
We did what we were supposed to do. People are going. That's what we do.
Okay.
I mean, we only roll it for royalty, man. You got to be the queen or something, or the king.
Is it gonna be the biggest first HYROX in a new country?
I don't know. That might be. I don't know, because I don't know how the other ones did. I mean, it would be obviously bigger than the States, bigger than
Sydney and Australia last year had like 1,500, 1,600. I'm sure Toronto's gonna have more than that.
Toronto had 3,000 when it was one day.
Yeah, so I mean, it's gonna be very big compared to other opening countries. I don't know what like South Africa that they're opening up this year. I don't know what that's gonna be like, but
it'll be.
You never know.
And it's the place they're at is good. Like it's gonna be scenic. The shots will be nice because it's right on the waterfront, and it's where they hold. Where they hold all the stuff like the Toronto Honda Indy is held right there.
Hey,
what's up?
Can we get back? Nick Reicher, welcome to the program. Can we get back to?
Whoa! Matt is getting us back on track. That's fucking.
Are we ranking NFL quarterbacks?
Not yet. That's
I like
later
that
on.
guy that does CrossFit, whatever his name is. I think he's for the Bears.
Tyson Badgett.
Yeah,
he's the Chicago Bears quarterback.
That's all I know. I don't know football.
Can we get back to this? Like, I understand if you've got a busy weekend, right, and you've got a Saturday and Sunday are full of people, so you want to do some Friday night light situation for the major. Can you explain the logic of the Thursday? I still don't understand that.
Because it's already 3 days. It's already Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so they put it the night before.
So
I think it's a great idea because you don't want to, if you are going to go watch it, right? So if I was going and I already had my Friday race, I'm probably going to get there Thursday. And on Friday, I'm going to be prepping for my own race. I'm not going to want to watch somebody else's major. But if I'm there already Thursday, I'll go to the venue and watch the major since I'm already in town the night before.
Yeah, but if you're not racing Friday, you're probably not flying until Friday.
Yeah, so you'll get some
great majority of people
driving,
racing,
or driving, Dave,
or driving. Correct, yes. And a great majority of people will be coming in there on Friday and Saturday because they're going to be racing Saturday or Sunday. I just think Thursday for the elite athletes. I mean, I know, you're early. It is what it is, but that's a whole nother day off. I don't know anyone who isn't working or whatever, who isn't pro at this, that doesn't need to take time off from work, family, or whatever to get out there for another day earlier.
Well, they're not. I mean,
stop the presses. Stop the presses. I've got someone on from 17 time zones away.
She's on the wrong side of the car.
It's Monique Macrina.
How are you guys? I've been listening while I was training on the bike.
How you getting on? It's JK.
Pretty good. Just came off the back of HYROX Sydney, so my legs are a bit sore.
All right. So, Monique, you saw my post today.
Yes.
Or you saw it yesterday, maybe for you, since you're living in the future. In the future, fucking 12,000 bloody people. That's more than like the last 6 American events. That's pretty fucking good. Pretty bloody good.
And it's really cool to see the production value as well. Like the venue was so much smaller last year, and we had to do more laps. And this year it was like so much bigger.
How did you like the lap course with the whoop whoop?
Or there was a really tight bend, like just next to the DJ booth.
The double figure 8 or whatever it is.
Yeah, and that was crazy, especially because we pro women were on at like 2 p.m. and there was still heaps of doubles and open races out, and it was like, elbowing each other kind of thing. Yeah.
So, what do you think of the new system?
I mean, it doesn't really apply to me because I'm not that good enough yet. So
But you're interested in the sport and you like watching the pros.
yeah,
What's the new?
yeah. The age group.
Oh.
Sorry, the 2 average times. I think that's interesting, especially because you do have faster courses. So yeah, I think it's a good thing.
But this year, you were a little bit slower. How were most people? Was it about the same? Did people think it was a quote unquote slower course because of the layout? Were people talking about kind of how they compared from the previous year?
Yeah, I was slower than my Melbourne one from 3 weeks ago. I don't know if it was the heat or if it was just the course layout because it was a bit warmer in there, especially with the different times racing. So yeah, but I did notice some people were slower than even Melbourne a couple of weeks ago. So I think the course was maybe a slower course.
So you guys have another race coming up. How soon?
3 weeks away, or less than 3 weeks away. Brisbane.
Wow.
And I was corrected, by the way. It is not Brisbane. The way I say it apparently is
He
is very
pronounces.
poor.
He doesn't pronounce anything
I was
correct.
told by the locals.
I
well,
corrected you first of all.
I know, but I should be saying Brisbane, not Brisbane.
Yes, it's not. It's
Well,
not Bane.
Some people call it Bris Vegas, so just to be safe.
Keep Anthony right at home.
There we go.
Stays in Brisbane, stays in Brisbane, Vegas.
Riker, I'm going to kick you off this show if you don't quit playing with your face. You're very distracting. I brought you on.
Nick is adding a touch of class to the show. Finally.
Matt B. Davis, look how crooked my nose is.
Yeah, you got a big, broken, crooked nose.
I broke it 4 years ago, and my brother put it back into place by himself, and it's never been.
Nice. See, that's manly. That's good.
So you've got, I forgot to look. You've got Brisbane, but then you've got another one. Don't you have another one a few weeks after that?
Perth. And then little birdie told me that there's going to be another one in the Asia Pacific region, probably New Zealand.
Ooh, they're going to go there.
Yeah, they've secured a venue in Auckland.
So that would be spring though, right?
Probably. Yeah.
That's when birds fly. Is the spring? She said.
So you guys basically have as many events as America does.
Well, APAC. It depends on if you include Australia or the whole APAC region, because the next few weeks, the next couple months, just leading up to Amsterdam, even it's gonna go Brisbane, Singapore, Perth, and then you're gonna have Cape Town, Stuttgart, and Toronto before Amsterdam.
And let's keep in mind, like Australia is a big goddamn place.
Yeah, but everybody lives on the right side.
Everybody lives over there to the other side. They're right.
Yeah, Perth is such a long flight away. Like, I'd rather fly to the US, to be honest, than Perth.
That's like us flying to the East Coast.
Right. So let's bring up a map so we can educate the mostly North American audience. So over here, so you got Sydney, right? Brisbane, right? Melbourne, right?
Yeah.
This is basically like New York, DC, Atlanta, basically, right?
No way.
How many hours from Brisbane to Melbourne by flight?
Oh, 2 hours.
Oh, so it's more like 2 hours I could be in Virginia. So it's not even that far. So 3 events within 2 hours, that's pretty bloody good.
That's a flight, not a drive, man.
I know, but I'm saying that's a short fucking flight.
Yeah.
What season is Australia in right now, Matt B. Davis?
The water goes down a different way. That's all I know.
No, come on. 4 seasons. Take a guess.
So Perth is over. It's the opposite of us. That's all I know. So Perth is over here. So yeah, that's different. But these 3, that's pretty awesome that you get that many events that close. Obviously, plenty of people.
How long a flight is that from Brisbane to Perth?
Oh, I think it's more than 8 hours.
Jesus, yeah, that's far.
Yeah,
it's like flying to Hong Kong from Sydney. Like, I'd rather fly to Hong Kong, and it's cheaper.
So that's like LA to, or what is it, Miami to Seattle.
And how far is the flight to New Zealand?
What's the kilometer?
3 hours. So it'd be better to fly to New Zealand than Perth. It's only 3 hours.
So what else from this weekend would you like to share with the rest of the world? You're speaking on behalf of all of Australia right now.
We still have to work on our judges. So the last race and this race, they hired some people from an employment agency who'd never done HYROX or never really done any fitness kind of events. And some of them just had no idea about judging or the severity of judging. They were kind of just like cheering instead of counting reps and making sure people were on target. So yeah.
DECA did the same thing in Fort Wayne. They hired some people from a temp agency.
Interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah, we don't have enough judges because I was standing at the ski erg for 20 seconds waiting for someone to come and verify that I'd done a K. It was not the best.
Fort Wayne makes sense in the fitness mecca that is becoming these big cities in New Zealand, Australia. Yes, it's always harder to find volunteers, but I would think it wouldn't be so hard that they'd have to hire an agency because of the numbers, like the sports.
You need so many more, though. You need so many.
Mappy Davis, that could have been your staffing company they hired.
There you go. You'd be thriving.
Well, fun fact, that is how I got one of my first gigs for Spartan for staffing was Tough Mudder. We staffed they hired us to hire people for Vermont and Colorado, and we had to keep them separate from the people that were just volunteering because you didn't want these people to know that these people were making like $10 an hour or whatever it was back then. Yep. Did they? So you talked to the people though, right? You talked to, is it Matt? Monique,
I didn't get to speak to him this time around, but yeah, there were volunteers, but there were also the people who were paid from that employment agency, and the volunteers knew that too, which is kind of funny. They found out.
But I'm saying, like, did they like? Have they acknowledged it? They're like, hey, we know we got to get better at this. Like,
not yet. I did see Christian, in Melbourne. He came to suss everything out. Yeah. Yeah.
And do you think are a lot of Australian people going to the other APAC races, the Hong Kongs and the whatnot?
I think so. I think HYROX has truly hit Australia now, and everyone's got the bug now. Even Brisbane and Perth, they're going to sell out, and spectators tickets are going to sell out as well. So people are definitely going to travel for this.
All right.
There we go. I'm sold.
All right. Well, listen, go home, take a shower, whatever you're going to do next. Thanks for hopping on.
All good. Thanks for having me.
Peace.
Bye.
All right, Nick, you wanted to come on. You're lucky I like you so much, but you've been playing with your face the whole time like a fucking weirdo. First of all, I don't know how long you've done Zooms, but the first lesson of professional Zooming is not to have us looking up your nose and at your ceiling and to put your camera on like a book or something. There you go.
That doesn't help. Matty
No.
Davis, what season is Australia in right now?
I don't know, Nick. You're very stuck on this point. I want you to bring something to the show that's besides busting my balls on what season it might be in Australia.
Well, I wanted to give you a science lesson because next Monday is the first day I have students back in my science class, and Australia is in the winter because they're in the southern hemisphere.
I just said it's the opposite of what we're in now. That's all I know.
No, but why? Then the suns, they don't directly hit Australia like they're hitting North America right now. The rays. That's why it's winter there.
The suns? Do we live on a country? Do we live in a planet with multiple suns? Are we on Andor?
Phoenix has the suns.
The rays.
Yes, we're in the summer. They're in the winter, and
Hey,
the
Nick,
train goes down
congrats
the
on
other
your
way.
second. That was a good race.
It was a horrible race, but
I know, but I'm trying to make you feel good. I know it wasn't your 30-20.
It was a bad day. But
Well, do you care about the new system for HYROX? Are you going to do HYROX this year? Are you done doing DECA? That's what you're on the show to do.
I'm in 3 HYROXes. I'm in
Nice.
Canada. I'm in Chicago, and I'm in Dallas.
Okay. And what is your goal?
I think it could be like a 57s.
57s.
Yeah,
What's the best you've done so far?
65. I've only done one.
Okay. So
People that these people that I'm racing. No. Am I saying I'm going to go to Toronto and be 57? No, but can I definitely be that some point this year? Yeah. I mean, the people I race in DECA that I beat or they beat me, just give or take, they're running 57. So why couldn't I do that?
Who did you beat? Who did you beat?
I beat Rich Ryan. I beat Ryan Kent. I beat Dylan Scott before. I beat David Magida before.
So you understand that a DECA fit is slightly different than a HYROX.
It's actually a lot different, but if they're doing it, why couldn't I do it?
I can't tell if you're speaking theoretically or hopefully.
I'm speaking like very honestly for myself, right?
To me, listen.
No,
Nick,
you know what? I'm with Nick. I think Nick has that capability. I think he can.
I'm a huge Nick Riker fan.
There's going to be transitional, right? It's not like you're going to go 57 your next race, but
no.
But yeah, I mean, you did 65. You can drop to like a 61 and then drop sub 60 for sure.
Why couldn't I?
Okay. I just wanted to make sure this wasn't like the people that do 8 hours at toughest and are like, oh yeah, so I'm going to do 110 miles at World's Toughest, then I'll probably win.
I did do a HYROX simulation, Mabby Davis, and I did set the world record just today.
So, but let's break it down. I want you to break it down. I want you to give us reason to believe you. Like, so it's like, yes, Matt, I think I'm going to take 2 minutes off probably this first time. And then maybe by the time I get to the third one in Dallas, like, I just kind of want to get into your head a little bit. That's all.
I'm going to go Toronto. It's on my fall break, so I'll be there for a while, Dave. Let's hang out.
Cool. Absolutely. I got a couch if you need it.
No, I'll be with my girlfriend. Thank you, though. I'm just going to run. So the first race, Toronto, I'm going to run faster and do the stations faster than my last.
Dude, I'm so lucky I'm not going to rage quit you right now.
In Chicago, I'm going to try to run a little faster and do the stations a little faster. And in Dallas, it's all going to come together.
Nick, will you be working out in between these things in order to try to improve yourself?
Yeah.
Nice. I like this plan.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be coaching cross country. So that's extra volume right there. There we go. I'll be coaching football. There's volume. Be doing wind sprints with the boys.
Will you be at DECA Worlds in home of something?
If they pay me $2,250 before that, then I will be there. If they don't, I will not be there.
How much are you currently owed?
$2,250.
Which races is that for?
It's DECA Mile at Worlds, and then the 3 races this summer.
So you're not going to go to PA, I'm guessing.
No.
And you're not going to go to, is there one more?
There's one in Florida. No, I'm not.
Yeah, there's one at the same location because that's where I'm supposed to get my DECA Fit 120 plus qualifying time. Well, I hope you get paid, buddy. I'd like to see you there.
I would love to be there.
I think that's something that's really reasonable that I've heard a lot of other athletes saying is they'll go when they get paid. And I think that makes sense.
Yeah. DECA Worlds is during my winter break, so I have nothing but time. I would love to go and just hang out in Florida, but oh well.
All right. Sean Noble, currently sitting at 32nd overall, is happy to take the couch in Canada.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, how about that?
Now when he says, what's the crack, lads? Do you know what that means? I'm going to quiz you.
I have no idea.
Lads?
He's saying, what's happening, guys?
I think it's shorthand for
what's crack-a-lackin'?
What's the critique on the announcements? I don't think he was on earlier when we were talking a little bit about it.
No,
we didn't talk a lot about it.
That is not what crack means. Google it. It does not mean critique. It means what's up.
I like Anthony's definition better.
I think that's what he's asking, guys.
No, he's not. He's just saying, what's up, guys? What's up, guys? I like the
enjoyable social activity, a good time.
It's also gossip. Crack. What's the entertainment? Thank you, Emily.
Also good.
The critique is I still say it's not good enough.
Well, I disagree. It's trending in the right direction. They can always get better, but they're working.
Listen. It's actually possibly a step in the wrong direction. The right direction, what we want is courses that are the same.
Well, that's never going to happen, eh?
Why not? Why not?
Quarterbacks.
Why can it not happen?
That's a different podcast. That's a different podcast, my friend.
I don't understand why it can't happen. Why they can't be the same.
Okay. Stop doubting me. Okay. When it comes to verbiage, I'm always correct. It's Brisbane, not Brisbane. It's I don't know whose name did you say wrong. You said a couple people's names wrong a couple times.
Mappy Davis, if a 13-year-old kid came up to you and said you're a Sigma, what do you think that means?
Well, I know beta's like a bitch. Is Sigma worse?
What do you think?
I think it's worse.
That'd be the worst.
It's worse.
Yeah. If I said to you, she's Riztastic, do you know what that means?
Riztastic?
Yes.
She's amazing.
I think that's what it means. Hey Siri.
Ooh, I like.
What does Riztastic mean?
As an adjective, rustic means relating to the countryside, rural.
She thought I said countryside. Also, everybody that listens to this on their podcast, when I say "Hey Siri," sometimes it messes up their phone. But now that I think about it, it shouldn't, because it's my voice. So you have an old phone if me saying "Hey Siri" actually addresses it.
Or they just haven't set it up themselves yet.
How many years till it's real? Oops. Todd S. asked, big fan of the show. How many years till it's a realistic threat that a qualifier comes out of the second heat at the LCQ? I mean, that could happen this year if somebody just doesn't know the person.
It could happen with a rookie.
It could be.
I mean, it could happen with a rookie. It could
The
happen.
only way a rookie gets in.
You know, yeah, but I mean, realistically, at that point in the season, you know who the top 10 people running are. So they're all going to be in the same heat. You're going to put them in the same heat.
Yeah, but it's possible. Like, so for example,
It could be ugly day.
I pushed
Yeah.
to get Katie Duke into the first heat. She disappointed me, by the way, but she wasn't in the first heat because it was just too many people, and so I pushed for her. So it could be anybody. It doesn't have to wait until it's so good. Just somebody they don't know yet.
The depth has to be there, that there's more than 10 or 15 people fighting for the 3 spots it's going to produce.
So can we go back to this? We talked about the fact that 7 is way too many to be auto qualified, but moving forward, they're not going to stop it at 5. It could keep going all the way down to 10th, for example. He said that on my show.
Yeah,
that's like qualifying for Worlds. Did he say that if you qualify for Worlds, you automatically auto qualify for the rest of the majors?
No. He said that whereas last year, if the top people, someone in the top 3 had a qual already for Worlds, it could roll down to number 5. Now it can roll down all the way. I think this makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does make sense, and I'm glad they cleared it up beforehand. But one of the big things about that is, like, now you're looking at it by the 4th major on the women's side, since so many women ran. I think the only woman who qualified and didn't continue running a major, and it was because of injury, was Rebecca Mason. But if you have the top 3 and then they run the next major and they get top 3 again, and then so 4 to 6 qualify, and then they run the next major and those 6 are all at the next major, then it goes to 7 to 9. And then by the 4th major in Glasgow, you could have 10th through 12th place being the ones that qualify for Worlds.
Yep.
And so, hey, honestly, it's going to be like, well, why wouldn't you accept your invite to that race? Because you never know what could happen.
Yes. Who else is going?
10th to 15th. Like, look, you only have to get 12th and you qualify. Like, great, fine. You've shown, especially if they've raced multiple majors and have placed higher and lower, that like that's a qualifying spot.
Yeah.
And they want the same people. They want multiple people to be continually running all the majors. This incentivizes that.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea just because it's logical. It just makes sense. And that's all I want from this is just common sense. Like, here's top 3 already done, next 3.
You don't want them to just let the spots go to the LCQ and the LCQ just gets a ton of spots and it's all open.
No, I want all the races to be like the LCQ.
One of my favorite things that he came out and said, all roll downs, if somebody pulls out at Worlds, is from the LCQ.
Yes, that was made. Yes, that was great.
Agree with it or not agree with it, at least it's settled. That's great.
That's absolutely, the LCQ is the last race of the season. You know, like that person, that way it's like somebody from Chicago is not, no offense to, I just use Chicago because it was the first one this last year. And I know Magita got his roll down, but you don't know where their fitness is at. Like, he got an injury through the season and everything. Like, You go to the LCQ, they were fit at least whatever the 5 weeks or whatever it's going to be before Worlds. So there is like, okay, this person was ready to go, and not, oh, I got 2 weeks, I better get prepared.
Yeah. And the thing is too, like now the people going to the LCQ, they're going to know this. They're going to know the top 3 are going. And then I'm still going to race for 4, 5, 6 because people might get hurt and or might not show up, or might turn down their invite, and that might still be my way in.
Mm-hmm. So I think this incentivizes a lot of people to get more races in, which they definitely want to see. And it incentivizes them to go to the majors because people are going to think, okay, well, the first major, we think these juggernauts are going to be the ones to go get their qualifying spots. But Hong Kong is the second major, and it's like your thoughts might be, well, these people might not travel there. I have a legitimate shot at getting my qualifier in Hong Kong. I'm going to go to Hong Kong now.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I like that part. I like a lot of things I said. To me, just making it an average of 2 races doesn't make that much difference. And it goes further away from what I would like.
I can't believe you would say that.
What kind of difference it makes?
What's that?
You want me to show you the kind of difference it makes?
He just told you the difference it makes.
No, I know.
Earlier.
I see it, right? So I saw it, and I saw on the board.
And here's the other thing too, though, that it does. I meant to say this earlier when maybe Chris was on, but whenever we were talking about it, I think it kind of sets a standard that everybody does. That it's not just like, it's like we talked before. It's like, what's your best time? And it's like, oh, I got a 56. It's like, okay, what are your best 2 times? And then, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, if that's the standard, then we all kind of know you can't just do the bullshit time. And because people would make this massive jump one venue to another and basically say, well, now I'm this good. And it's like, well, you're not. You're the best of your best 2 times.
People are still going to say they're their good time.
Well, of course, but
I think it does. If you run a 3-minute marathon, a 3-hour marathon in a 2:45, you're going to tell people you're a 2:45 marathoner.
Yes, good point. But I think that we all kind of know that's kind of where we're going.
Anyway, like I said, to me, the ultimate goal, this is a bit of a step away from it, or what I would consider the ultimate goal, which is wide open and fair. I still think the best way is open majors, just like the LCQ, for every one of them.
I don't think the majors are meant to be a production. It's what brings in and gets eyes on the sport. I think absolutely what they should do is make it maybe pick 3 races this year. So you had to have raced at either Toronto or Stuttgart or one of the APAC races before Amsterdam, and maybe the auto qualifiers don't because they like the auto qualifiers, but the other 9 spots are granted, or 8 spots or 10, whatever it is, are granted at those 3 races, and you get it from those 3 races to go to the first major.
But then you're having people jump into more and more races beforehand and trying to travel more. But so my thing is, you said the production. So how does it affect the production? Like if every major was like the LCQ, how does that affect the production?
Because how do you follow people when it's a crowded course like that? It's so nice when it's on a grid. You can't grid the course have it.
The grid makes little to no difference.
It makes a big production when you're able to view it.
If we watched Worlds, right? The only thing that the grid affects that they did different was the burpee broad jumps, right? And the lunges, because the farmer's carry was elsewhere. So you had the burpee broad jumps and the lunges that were on the grid, and it makes them harder to follow. As a viewer, it makes it harder to follow who's where, who's on what lane, how many laps they got to do. It actually makes it worse for me as a viewer.
I thought it was easier.
When they hit the farmer's carry, I could tell where.
You can see how far ahead it is.
On the same lengths. When it was on the farmer's carry, I could see, oh, he's passing him. He's passing him. I knew exactly where.
How could you see that? It was 2 laps. I couldn't tell. Are you on lap 1 or lap 2?
It's still easier. A lot easier than a lap 11 or however many they're going.
Well,
across.
I mean, that's tough to count, but at least then you can see your gap distance and everything.
I'm just saying, I don't think it affects the production that much.
I think it does, because if you're not on the grid, you have to follow only one athlete the whole time, and you can't watch the race. You can see the other races happening if it's on the grid.
Hey, real quick, he didn't mention money on my show. Somebody did. Somebody said they might have mentioned it on Rock's Life. Do we know the payout?
So on Rock's Life, I have that up. I can share a screen again. I I guessed at what the payouts would be just because of what last year was or this year.
You
whatever.
guessed it based on what?
No, so
They said like an overall.
They said what the purse was.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
you went percentage wise, kind of even to
Yep.
what they did last time.
So they said it's $60,000 per
Can you
major.
Can you drop the other part? It's way too small. Can you get rid of the other part? There we go.
They said it's $60,000 per major on Rocks Life. So that's $30,000 per sex. So this was the payouts this year were 42,000, 21 per sex, and so 30,000 per sex could look something like this.
Nice. 8,500. Nice. That's some
This
good.
is a guess. This is a guess. I think it's actually probably going to be 8,000, not 8,500 or 7,500, but this is one way it could be set up because it's similar to how they set it up last year.
Yeah, that's a good. I think you'd be damn close with that.
I like that. So we think what he said on one of the things he did say on my show is more money and more production value, but like the live streams we think are like we're already at a certain level. Like, what do you think they're going to do even bigger? Like just bigger signage? I mean, I feel like
every single major and the world championships, the viewing got better. And so like, just imagine, go back and watch what Chicago was the first.
Well, no, Chicago was a shit show. We knew that.
Well, even Stockholm was not the best.
No, Stockholm was rough too.
So keep like every single one, they got better and better. Like they're just going to keep refining and get better and refining and get better. And
more cameras, more tech.
Yeah. Just, you can view more of the race. I think it's a net positive.
You can get rid of the grid.
Keep the grid, make it better.
A TV deal would change the sport. Absolutely, it would. But I don't think that's on the horizon.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
On ESPN in 2022.
Well, that was the doc thing. I'm talking about live.
Yeah. ESPN 8, the Ocho.
If we listen, I don't think it's crazy to think that some deal could come by the time we get to World Champs, by the time we get to May of 25. What month did we just have it in? May?
Yeah.
May of 25, it could happen.
I just think that right now, if I'm not seeing it happen with CrossFit yet, I don't see it happen with HYROX yet. Just because of the amount of viewership and stuff, I just don't think that they're there yet. I mean, I'd watch, but I don't think they're.
But it's not just about that. It's like it's kind of like perception. Like it is kind of like the new hot thing. And maybe somebody at some network thinks this is a property we want to get a deal with. We think they're going places. What if we ink a 5-year deal with them now when it's cheapest?
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah. It always just takes that one right person.
You just don't want what's that flow track? They don't want them to.
No, I don't think. No, I don't think they would ever do that. They're at a point now where they could be picky. They can decide who they want to work with and how they want to do it.
Red Bull TV, baby. They already got the end. Red Bull TV.
Oh,
sure.
If they could make a car.
Well, Red Bull, there is a Red Bull TV, Dave.
Yeah, I know. And that's what I say. They got that. They made a car. They can do anything. They're ruling the world.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, they're already part of HYROX.
So I wonder why, if they know LCQ is Barcelona, why do they not have a date yet? Like how hard could it be to nail that down?
Like they either haven't released it or it's not set.
Well, like they know it's got to be after March 25th, right?
They might be floating between a couple of dates on the venue. Maybe the venue wavering on which date.
Maybe they have a couple different venues they're trying to get in, and they're just finding out which one's going to be right and what weekend works.
I just feel like if you could figure out, you've had all this time to do it. I'm just a little surprised.
Well, it's like, I don't know if you heard about Worlds. They have 3 cities they're talking to, negotiating to, and they don't have a set city picked out yet for Worlds. So,
but that's a different scenario. There's a lot more riding on Worlds than an LCQ venue.
I mean, according to
Dave, wait a minute, hang on. Paleo's in the house. Paleo in the house says there's a date for Barcelona. So what is it? Is it on the website?
I didn't get a chance to hear Anthony's jab. I missed it. What was it, Anthony?
I don't know. Do you remember?
Damn.
No. I just said, well, if you want to take Dave's approach, then the LCQ is just as important as the major.
Exactly.
So, and it is just as important as the major.
I was more excited about the LCQ than I was any other major.
It should be the first heat run on a grid.
Doesn't need to be run on the grid. It can be the first heat, though. First wave.
All right. I just looked on the website, and I do not see.
Palaio's
It's not on the website. It's in the email.
There you go. Palaio's in the know.
The date is not in the email.
Palaio
They sent an email April 26th and 27th. Well, okay, so what the fuck? Palaio, my email that I saw that went to an athlete or 2 or 3 that I got it from, it says LCQ Barcelona Saturday TBD. What does yours say? April 26th, 27th. They sent an email last week. To who? Where? What?
To Palaio.
Just to you?
To Palaio. It's the Spanish.
Yeah, I mean, he's the hometown guy.
Spain. You got to be part of their newsletter.
He's the captain. Oh, that's it. Matt's
How do you say? Why didn't I get that email in Spanish?
In Spanish, why did I get that email?
He said they raced to anybody who raced in Spain.
Because you didn't race in Spain.
You didn't race in Spain. It was HYROX Spain.
If I'm saying, hey, Siri, you guys need to listen, goddammit. Now, Siri just told me something. She works very hard, and you talked right over it.
Well, we got the answer.
I get no respect for Siri.
Palaio, can you please send me an email? mattbdavis@icloud.com. That's mattbdavis@icloud.com so I can see it, please.
So
if they sent it last week, yet they told the athletes TBD.
Well, they probably just said the date for Barcelona and didn't say it was an LCQ.
Right. But then, listen, I wanted to give a quick shout out. Hang on. We're going to do a quick shout out. Hang on.
So I was just going to address Sean's question. He said, could you foresee a $250K payout in CrossFit for the elite winner? And my answer is going to be no. I don't see that ever coming.
Ever?
Not ever.
No, it's just the way it grows up. Like, I don't think 250, which CrossFit now is like 375 for first place or something, 315 for first place. So I don't see it. It would need a major sponsorship that grows it to that. And CrossFit got that pretty early on. I could see it becoming 100,000, maybe. Like, I just don't. I think at a certain point they're going to say, okay, we can use this money elsewhere. For $100,000, you're going to get the same athletes you would get if you had 300,000.
Okay, I'm going to put something in there. If Tough Mudder can get a $480,000 prize payout, I think that HYROX can pull it off.
Yeah.
No. He's saying for one person, first place gets $250K.
I know. I got you. So I mean, I'm just saying that, let's just take in the Middle East or something like Alula did with Tough Mudder. Something in that same scenario, if they brought HYROX in, which is going to generate a lot more attention, a lot more revenue, a lot more tourism, a lot more people come in, maybe they open up the coffers even more. It's just a possibility. Is it likely? No, but I'm throwing out possibilities as to why I wouldn't say never.
All right, I want to give a shout out to Todd Sholos, who commented earlier and who also bought 3 coffees, which helps support this channel. You too can do that. I put the link in the thing, and I don't know, do hot links work? I can't tell on here if it works on the YouTube or not. It does, right? Yeah, it does. You can click on it directly. You can help keep this thing going. We work really hard, and we are sponsor supported, but we're also listener and watcher supported. So go on and buy a cup of coffee. You can do it once, or you can hit monthly, and it'll leave your account every month, and you won't even notice it. Go to the link I just clicked, or if you forget it or you're listening to this later, go to our link in bio. Go ahead, Anthony.
Yeah, if HYROX did want to get to a payout that much, they would need a consistent stream of revenue outside the races, which would be like the affiliate models or something, and it would have to grow because right now you're talking $130 per affiliate, people quitting jobs and opening an affiliate versus CrossFit that's $4,500 a year per affiliate, and so their affiliate model would really have to grow for it to even be considered.
It would,
If
but
they're
I will
getting
say that
$130 a month from how many did they say have now? 2,000? 5,000?
they're up
That's a
to
lot of
100
money.
in Canada. Which
What's that?
They're up to 100 in Canada. 100 affiliates. So yeah, I just saying, I don't think it's likely. It's not likely for right now, but it is possible. Which sport is most profitable?
I don't think it's likely in the next 10 years.
I would say 5.
For a guy
Definitely
who's doing this for a living, coaching hybrid athletes, I'm shocked that you're so down on it.
I'm not down on it.
bullish.
I think I definitely think it's going to grow. I think it could get up to $100,000 for first place. That would be, you're talking $350,000 total prize purse, maybe even up to $500,000 total prize purse. But the level of CrossFit where it's $325,000 for first place alone, and then they pay all the way down as well as for event wins and everything. So you're talking couple million, like $1 million+ prize purse total. They're years away from that.
You said 10 years.
Yeah, I think
That's
10
good.
years they might be there.
Okay.
I like Peter's question. Which sport is more profitable? CrossFit, Deca Spartan, I think he's considering one. HYROX, and then Tough Mudder obviously are 2 different ones, just no comma.
Well, Tough Mudder and Deca and Spartan are all the same thing now, right?
Yeah, but they could be different. But if you were looking at the line sheet, the P&L of Spartan, I think Spartan might be the most profitable. But is that enough to fucking get them out of all the problems they have? I don't know. I have no idea how profitable CrossFit is, and I have no idea how profitable HYROX is. HYROX is still in super growth mode, so they might be spending.
Spend. I wouldn't be surprised if HYROX is not making money yet.
I would say trajectory, HYROX. HYROX is the highest. Total revenue, not like profit, CrossFit. If you're talking profit, because of the profit margin, they drop all their costs and they just keep everything else the same. Deca, Spartan, Tough Mudder.
Yeah, I would say so too.
All right. So if the clock's in the house, welcome clock. So I just got the email. We do have that date. So your last chance to make it to the World Champs is 4/25. So that's April 25th. So if the World Champs is, what was it this year? Was it the middle of May? It's pretty close.
Yeah.
The last chance qualifier was May 18th, I think, in Anaheim. The one, well, I mean, it's right in the middle because the Cologne one was April 6th.
But there's only one this time.
Yeah, there's only one. So it's right in the middle of where the other two were.
And what date was Worlds? Worlds was
June 7th.
Okay.
So this one's going to be April 25th, right?
So it sounds like it's 4 or 5 weeks before Worlds.
Yeah. So
Or maybe 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah. So the majors are October 10th, November 22nd, January 31st, March 13th, and then 6 weeks after that, you can do the LCQ.
Yeah. And do you see what Clock said? 2.8 million was a games prize purse. Well, the whole CrossFit season prize purse, but the majority
of that's going to be the games.
Yeah. So you're talking, I mean, right now, HYROX is 60,000 per major, so that's $240,000. I'm assuming the world prize purse might go up to like 200,000 this year. So you're looking at a total season prize purse of 440,000. But even so, that's what, 1/6 of what CrossFit's is right now.
Yeah.
Year over year, maybe it starts to get better, but I think it's more than 6 years away.
All right. Anything else about all the big news before we move on? We cover all the HYROX news. I mean, before we go on to the next thing.
I mean, we did, but did you want to dive into like who moved where from the?
Yeah,
I thought we were going to do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Some stats.
You're supposed to send me that ahead of time though, because I wanted to do. Here's what I want to do. You could probably do this at the top of your head now. If we did it the way I said, which is just the top 3 in Worlds, and they're the only ones. I wanted to see like Hunter's last 2, everybody else's last 2, JK, everybody's, and then see who the true, like everybody that's not the top 3, where the top 15 are.
Why don't you do it with no lock-ins?
No lock-ins? Well, then there's nothing to do. You just show up.
Well, I mean, I can show you sort. Like I can sort it right on here. So here's, I was just going to show first off, I noticed they left somebody off. That person is Jake Dearden. I have him in 25th from his 2 races. and he is not on HYROX's list here. So if he, I don't know
Did
if a
you
25th
confirm
roll
those
down will happen,
races?
but Dylan was
with-
lower than 25th and got a roll down.
Are they-
So
Are they within a year?
yeah,
Jake's?
his 2 races were Glasgow and New York.
So he was just left off, you think?
Yeah, I mean, or either that or like maybe it was something like Heidi Wurzmans, who originally was listed as female, and so maybe he has one of his listed as female and the other male, so he doesn't have the combo. But based on, I mean, I'm using high results, so it shows I got Jake Dearden right here. And if you go to his pro min times, New York and Glasgow, pro min.
Well, he's probably writing them right now.
Yeah. But let's see. What you wanted to do? You wanted to organize this based on
if we let the top 3 men and women in, everyone else, there's no other auto qualifiers, no major winners, just top 3 from the worlds.
Just top 3 from the worlds?
Yeah, and then everyone else. Then I want to know who's currently in qualified for what kind of time you need to beat the top 15 for the world for majors. Can you do that?
Yeah, here. I'm gonna actually do it on a different page, so I'm not messing up.
I don't expect that it's going to make a big difference, because I mean, so you're going to make
it's not.
No
Because
auto qual to.
You want to see what the difference is going to be? Actually, I could show you pretty.
Here's
quickly.
why it makes a difference is people can move. Listen, just let me finish. People can move out. Right now, you can't move out a guy that was 5th in the majors, and so therefore he's qualified for the rest of the year, Paleo or whoever.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, here
I want to see what
top 6. The top 6 based on average would still be the top 6, just in a different order. For the men. Paleo would fall down to 12th. Everybody, 12th, 13th.
Well, like I said, if you can do it, just do it. If it's hard to do and you can't do it, it's fine. I just want, and again, it's let you know that this is movable. Like I could finish X amount of time faster, and then I get in. That's all. If it's going to take a while, don't do it.
Boom.
If it's going to take a minute.
Go. That's it. I mean, I can erase this line, but basically all that happens is Paleo moves down to 13th.
So now I got to race fast. So now the time to beat, the average time. Where's the average?
It's the time to beat right
it's
here.
57:33. So you've got
the exact same.
It's the exact same.
Of course it is.
Nothing changed because none of the guys that are auto qualified would be out of the 15. Last year they would have, but this year they're not.
Yeah. Okay, what about the ladies? Let's talk about the ladies.
The ladies, the same thing happens. Only you're looking at Viola and Vivian move down like 1 or 2 spots each. That's it.
Okay. However, what about if you what's out of all these guys, these 7 guys, does anyone have a time older than 6 months, or are any of them going to drop off anytime soon?
I mean, we could check that, but I have like times written here. So the race 1, you're looking at some 2023 Decembers, Novembers, Decembers.
So after the first 2 majors of this year, they could drop out. Doesn't mean they would, but you'd have to go back and start looking at other times because a lot of those guys did a bunch of races.
Yeah.
Yep. Eugenio has one from October.
And what about on the women's side?
It's actually easier to see on the HYROX website than on mine, but you're looking at none of these matter. No, just some Novembers and Decembers.
Right. So after the first 2 majors, but they will have all raced again by then.
They all will have raced by then.
All right. Well, do you think maybe we can get Bell back? So what do you think? Go message her.
Here's what I was going to say. If you want to see the biggest difference, this map right here, this ranking is using the same criteria that they used last year. So only one time, not an average. And I left the auto qualifiers the way they were, so this is the same auto qualifiers. But some of the things you might like see is I already said the women, they fell out, you know, and some of these other women jump in. But on the men's side, if you look at it, you have Berlin time,
Yeah.
right? These three. If you go to the 2-race average, those guys are down here. Yannick's right there. And Aaron Woodman fell all the way off.
Mhm.
His other time was like an hour 7.
Yeah.
So it goes way down. So just looking at like some interesting stuff. Sadiq gets in, whereas before he's actually 21st, which may not have got him into a major at all. And now he is 14th. One of the things that's cool is like, you see how I color coded this? Everybody that has a color raced at or qualified for Worlds this last year.
Okay.
So look at the men. The top 12 were from or had qualified for Worlds already this last year. And so you would assume that those are the 12, right?
Yeah.
Now you got Tim, Graham, and Rich, who are the ones who aren't in the top 15 after that. But you also have Tobias and Colin and Magida, who's further down, who actually raced at Worlds for people like Rylan and Tim and Lucas. So, yeah.
All those guys. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. If you have any questions, like I think the average shows you that, like, hey, these majors and these qualifiers are actually working because all of these people right here took at least a top 5 in a major last year.
Yeah, I mean, like it's better than what it was. It's just Matt, you're muted.
Did you hear what I said earlier?
No, you were muted.
Okay. Well, earlier I said, "Hey, Sean," you said, "What's the crack?" The crack is you're fucked. You're already at LCQ. Emily saying, all those guys except Sadiq have raced in a major or Worlds in the past, and in the women, with the exception of Jade. I'm not quite sure I understand that. You're saying
Jade raced in the World Championship in 2021 and 2022, I think.
No, she's meaning last year. You mean
just last year. I mean, Jade was qualified for a major last year and didn't take her spot, I think. And then there's this. And Jade did do 2021 Elite 15 and Elite 15.
We're talking about recent. We're not talking about 2022.
Yeah, but she said not in the Elite 15. So I was just clarifying it was. But that's easy to see on here too.
Aren't you glad you started like crushing all that data and then HYROX was like, boom, we did it?
Dude, it was like an hour after I finished getting the men's done. I was like, oh, great.
But I'm impressed. I'm glad they did it. I'm glad they wrote whatever program they did. And like I said, I'm really glad that they realize that one race doesn't mean that you're top of the world, and it actually does admit, without them really admitting, that all courses are not the same.
So one thing that I did notice is I don't know if seeding is going to matter or how it would come into effect, but if you use the average times versus the qualifying times for here on the women, the order is different, right? And the same thing for the men.
But why would that matter though?
Just I don't know
when you get introduced at the World Championship, or when you get introduced to the majors.
Matter. I don't know if it does matter all that much, but if you look at like these three, interesting. Alex, Hunter, and James, their average qualifying time is faster than all but one of everybody else's best time. Their average times are better than all but one of everybody else's absolute best time. So
there you go.
I mean, they're flying, you know.
So how does that look on the women's side?
If you look at their average times, it's just Lauren and Meg. Their average times are less than an hour, so it's obviously faster than anybody else's qualifying time.
Yeah.
All right. So let me ask you this question, Dave.
Yep.
We'll ask Anthony second because we know how biased he is about the hybrid engine. Who do you think? We talked about Nick taking a big chunk of time off. Who do you think, Anthony? Go back to the women for a second. Who do you think, Dave? If we put Lauren and Meg in tier 1,
oh yeah,
who else could be tier 2? Who else from that batch could get up to at least where Linda and Vivian are? Do you think?
Well, I mean, obviously Linda and Vivian are tier 2. If
right, but now we want to know who can move up from tier 2.5
do you
to 3.
Put Viola in that, Dave?
I think Viola's problem has been consistency, but I do think she has the ability to perform at that level. Yeah, I think she will be better. She had some injuries which caused her consistency issues, and I think she is at that level. I mean, I don't think she's going to go beyond that, but I think she can fight for there. If I'm looking at pure potential,
let's just say, so off the top of my head, right? Like Kate worked her way into the Elite 15 and then did great in the Elite 15, found herself next to Megan the rower, right? She might be already at her ceiling, right? Maybe not, but she might be because she already worked to get up there. But what do we think about Lauren Griffith? What do we think about Zara? Like, can they get a minute faster, 2 minutes faster? How long would it take to do that? And by the way, Kate, I'm not saying you've capped out. I just kind of threw you out as an example.
Yeah, well, I think
Chris, how much faster can Chris get? Chris hasn't even been focused on this. What do you think?
I think you got to look at people who have not done as many races, because then usually means they have more room to grow, right? So if I mean, I think you probably have more information on that, but if you're looking at that, for me, I mean, somebody like Lauren Griffith, who doesn't have as many races and has kind of just been building hybrid from last year, she's got a lot of room to grow. And then I don't mean to be, but somebody like Jade Skillen, who has done so many, is probably where she's going to be, right? I would have last year said Camilla Massa would be someone that can jump up there, but I don't know. I don't know if she's got that. She's now done so many races and has done so much. Maybe she's at her peak. I'm not sure.
Is that her best, a 102 hybrid engine? Is that her best 102.37?
Who?
Camilla?
Sorry.
Has she gone faster than that?
Yes, that's her best.
Okay.
Yeah, and
that's really what we're looking at now with these Elite 15 is who's got room to grow. Forget the new people that are coming up that we don't even know yet, but who's got room to grow?
Yeah, I would say Lauren Griffith, and just because of her running abilities that I've seen is really impressive. Rebecca Mason, I feel like we need to see more from.
I don't think we're going to see her.
No.
I think her injury might make her done. It'd be great to have her back, but I don't know if we will.
That's too bad. There's a lot of them in there that could grow, but I think right now those 5 at the top, actually six at the top, really, it's going to be tough to break into that 6.
So, I mean, yes, but I think look at people's PR as their best race, as their home run potential, right?
Yep.
And then how close can they bring their floor up? Not necessarily like if it's a way far outlier, I'd say, well, maybe you look at the course, but Jade consistently brought her time down. She was like 70 minutes, 69 minutes. And then this last year consistently brought it down. She had multiple 104s, a 102, like that shows big improvement. And it means that maybe it's not done. Maybe she could grow more.
Maybe.
Look down at Tara Jackson, a 103.33. If she can consistently start hitting something like that, you're going to look at, maybe she gets down into the 102s.
So my understanding with what happened with Tara was most of her races were like pre-center sleds and pre that. So when she got onto that, where she always kind of struggled with that heavy power situation, that now the way the sleds have become easier, that helped her a lot. And that's why she had that big jump. That's what I see. That's what I see.
Other people that I would look at besides, like my athletes, I think are going to be amazing. I think there's going to be a really big battle this year. Maybe not like all over, but the battle for the UK. Right now you're looking at Zara and Jade and Jess and Kate and Rebecca Mason. If Rebecca Mason goes, they're all England or UK athletes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they have a big contingency there. And I mean, you're looking at all of them are going to do really well. Jump up. I would say Lauren Griffith, Zara, and Kate are obviously, I'm biased there.
That's why I wanted to talk to Dave first, because I knew you were just going to mention your athletes.
But other athletes, like I think Laura Valgreen, she showed really good potential. She's down in 21st right now. If she gets another fast race in, she's all of a sudden jumping up into like her one time, the 104.21 is close to that cutoff line. All she needs was one time faster, and she's in the Elite 15 and can show what she's going to do. All
right. So here's what you got to do with Anthony. Anthony's really good about who's going to do better. If you want to get questions that Anthony has to answer, you have to ask him the cutthroat ones. Who in the Elite 15 will not be in the Elite 15 at Worlds next year?
Wow.
That's the cutthroat shit. Because he's not going to say his athletes for that one. And if he does, that's really bad marketing. Anthony.
You're like a genius, Dave. You're like a Jedi reverse mind trick on him.
That's tough, because if Rebecca Mason doesn't race, there you go. There's an athlete that.
Well, so wait a minute. What's her injury? What happened?
I think she had something previously from like gymnastics, or she hurt her knee or something, and it was painful to run. I don't know. I'm not gonna I don't want to. Say the wrong thing. So
it's okay. Is Jess one of your athletes?
Who?
Jess Towell. Is she one of your athletes?
No.
How much do we know about Jess?
I think Jess.
She previously did CrossFit. I don't know her. I don't know a lot about her. I know that she went to DC, right? That was where it was at. But all of her other races so far, we could pull.
She was in like the Middle East. I think
they're all Middle East races.
Yeah. I think she has room to grow. But I think she would. I don't know that she fully commits.
She definitely has high end potential. Here's her races, and we can she has one elite race, which you're looking at is DC, where she ran a 107. But then you're looking at her other races: 107, 103, 104, and then a 105.
So the 103 is her PR, and so it's, can you get faster than that? Can you get in the 102s?
What I'm very interested in, actually, is if we go here, Michaela, can she overcome her injuries and her other things? She has the fastest times outside of the top two. Like she is the next, logically, she's the next person to break that 60-minute mark.
So only person to beat Lauren and Meg, right?
Yeah.
So here's a question, and this would be, I guess, due to timing. When does some of Michaela's faster times drop off her average?
So yeah, Michaela's faster
times would have been a little bit behind her pre-injury status.
So I have two different times listed because I didn't include the Dubai race.
Because you forgot.
September. What's that?
No, because it comes off before the first major.
Before the first major, yeah.
Yeah, so that shouldn't be there.
Well, it still has it there right now, right? And
so I think her two times are Stockholm and Vienna from here. Actually, I'm pretty sure.
If they wrote the program to just always have it be 365, but it honestly should be, they should write the program to the major. That's what this 360 because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so Dubai was one of her faster races at 1 hour 60:35. Stockholm a 1:61:32. So the question is, what would be her next race that would affect her?
A 1:03:52.
1:03. So she drops considerably
after December. What's that?
So she'll drop considerably.
So she'll drop a couple minutes. She won't drop out of the Elite 15.
No, I'm just saying she drops considerably on that board, though, which means, others can jump up.
Yep. But she also has that potential, right? She very well could be up in the mix.
All right, let's move over to the men.
You want to go to the men?
Yeah.
All right.
And then we'll wrap up. What's that?
I'll make my bold prediction. I don't think she makes Worlds this year.
Michaela?
Yeah, Michaela.
Sorry, I think that's wrong.
I'm just saying, I'm not saying she's not capable. I'm just saying I think there's just, a lot going on there for injuries.
She's also, is she mid-30s? How old is she?
I don't know.
Okay. So, as I stated, Rylan is like everybody knows how badass he would be. His times are coming off after the 2 fall majors, or after the first major, I think.
From his perspective, he probably, I mean, obviously he's going to be less concerned about that and more concerned with just getting healthy.
So yeah, after the first, he has the first major. Like, he can go to Amsterdam if he wants, but if he doesn't race before November 11th, he's not qualified for Hong Kong, because then he only has 1 race on the ticket.
And I don't see him racing before then.
Actually, because he has an October race. So really, if he doesn't race before Hong Kong twice, he doesn't have a time for Hong Kong.
Yeah. And in which case, he'll probably be looking at the LCQ.
Yeah.
Which realistically,
realistically, he's trying to still figure out what's wrong, what's going on with him. So he needs that time. I don't think we see Rylan at a major in 2024 unless he does decide to go to Amsterdam.
I think you're right in the first part. I think we don't see him in one unless it's the LCQ.
Yeah, because I don't think he's going to get the opportunity to go race 2 races before Vegas or Glasgow.
Yeah, and he's got to get healthy, and then he's got to get back in shape. Not that he's
I think he should go to Vegas and run
out of shape. Rylan would still beat like 99% of the field.
Yep.
Yeah, but only the 1% makes world this year, remember?
That's right. So you got to beat 99% of the field.
Well, of these guys, a bad day for Rylan. I mean, he's
if the roll down goes to 12th place, I don't think Rylan's getting 12th place, even if he's not feeling good.
No, if it's that kind of scenario, right?
Yeah.
But I still say LCQ would be the first time we'd see him.
Okay.
Hopefully.
So back to
So
here.
Does Lucas Storath race this year?
Did he say it was his last year or something?
No, but he was off for a while. He's one of the oldest athletes in the field.
That's tough.
Dawson Miller is asking about the Open Championships. We don't know. I think somebody said that he said on the other show that they're not going to be the same dates.
So did you hear that the Vegas might be the major, but not the North American Championships?
So that theoretically could be somewhere like Chicago or something.
That could be DC again.
Yeah.
So that's basically so that they can it's kind of like the Spartan age group championships are different dates than the elite races.
Yeah.
And to kind of highlight them more.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
So we think that's a good thing?
I don't know. I think it's really cool having the Open Championships at a major.
The way HYROX treats the Open Championship, it's not like they're gonna, or the Open Division, it's not like they're gonna give it a ton of attention or stream or anything just because it's open. I think Anthony's right. I think I'd prefer at a major.
Except that when they do that, it takes away that whole like, oh, you can run the Open but not be in the Elite 50. Like I kind of like that. We're not doing that anymore, right? That's better. Like Magida ran the fastest time in Chicago, but didn't race Chicago 2 years ago, whatever the hell that was.
Oh, where he ran the fastest time in Vegas, but didn't run the World Championships in Vegas. But that's because the courses are completely different.
No. I'm talking about the Open. When they do it's why when you go to high results, sometimes it says Elite and sometimes it says Pro.
Yeah, there's 3
and it also
divisions.
says Open.
But you can
Open, Pro, and Elite.
Right. So when you're doing the Elite 15 races, there isn't a pro race, right? That was the whole point. So now there can still be a pro race.
Well, there can still be a pro race, yeah, in Vegas. And I hope they do, because I would love to be able to go run Vegas myself.
Yeah.
So, and I guess I could do it in the Open, but I prefer to do it in the pro.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So it takes that whole thing away.
But why was that there to begin with? Why was that even a thing? That never made sense.
They had the Open Championships. It's like the age group championships or something.
Yeah, but you could still have a pro wave.
Yeah, you could, but then how's it any different from they wanted people to sign up for it. I understand it.
Yeah.
So we don't know where those are yet. Is the point. We don't know where those are yet.
The European Championships and North American Championships, they said weren't announced. So even though we have the majors, they aren't necessarily the European Championships and the North American Championships.
The Open Championship could be at one of the cities they've announced already, or it could be at a city they haven't announced yet.
Yeah.
Whatever these new spring races
It just so happens that Hong Kong is the Asia Open Championship, so there won't be a pro race in Hong Kong.
Right.
Did you want to go through and see who do you think's going to be who's not in the top 15 that's going to be in the top 15 by the end of the year, Dave?
So hold on. Maria Fetchik, without looking at anything. That's what I'm going with.
Well, we're looking at men.
Oh, yeah, she'll make it. She'll be in there.
Okay.
Let's see here. Well, could be in the top.
Can I say all Americans? Can I say Rich, Colin, and anybody and Marcus? I'll just say all Americans, and fuck everybody else.
Here's a question:
JK.
Is there anybody auto qualified that won't qualify for Worlds?
So you're looking at out of Alex, Hunter, James, Dylan.
So they'd have to finish out of the top 3 at the majors.
Yeah.
No, they will all make it. Wouldn't they? Yeah. Because there's a roll down.
Well, I mean, they could get beat by these guys too.
Yeah, they could. It's not a shoo-in, but I think yes, with an asterisk, providing that they are all fully committed to racing HYROX this year.
Are you talking about Ryan Kent, who said he's not going to race until the new year?
Well, no, I'm not okay with him not racing until the new year.
When did he say that?
He before the schedule was out and stuff. So, yeah. But yeah, in my mind, if Ryan Kent's fully committed to racing HYROX this year and is mentally bought in, he makes it. Yeah. But if he's not, and if he's just going to like take one stab at it, that might not be enough. You know, so I'm just saying he should make it.
He's somebody that even if he does a tune-up race as like one of the majors,
yeah,
he could go to the LCQ and get his spot there.
100%. So, and if he goes to the LCQ, then like everybody needs to really consider a spot gone.
If all these men, right, the best, if you look at the top 5 in the world, right, if they're all going to go to the main, and like they're going to qualify by the last one, Pelayo would get in no matter what. He'd probably get in sooner, but yeah, I don't see him not making it.
Well, I mean, Hunter, before the schedule came out, he said he's not doing anything until December, LA. So he's not going to the first 2 majors.
Right. Yeah. But he's not going to he's not going to.
Are we going to have the same situation where there's a different male winner at every major?
I would love that. Good for the sport.
I actually think that it will be that. And I think the women's, I mean, you know more about travel schedules than I do, but I guess with the money being it, your top women may travel more, especially when you consider, I mean, Megan Lauren, when they go, they're pretty much a shoe-in for a first or a second. So financially makes it worth it. Whereas the men, it's a little more of a gamble, and depending on who goes and here's that positioning.
Well, here's the other thing is that DECA piece, right? If Dylan's like, I'm not going to mess with DECA anymore because they're not really paying me anymore. If Ryan Kent's not going to mess with DECA anymore, Rich Ryan might not mess with DECA anymore. And they can focus just on HYROX. I think that makes a little bit of a difference, don't you?
Well, Kent and Rich already did that last year.
It's better this year? Isn't DECA Worlds like 2 weeks after Hong Kong?
Yeah, but they're done with it. Period. They're like, I'm not going back because they're not paying, and it's losing its luster because they don't see it getting better. It's not like, okay, I got paid, so now I'm going to focus more on it. I still don't think, like, Meg's never going back. You know what I'm saying? No. You were later paying Meg. Meg's like, deuces. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, it might be the same with some of these guys. And maybe, maybe some of the women too. I don't know.
I think when it comes to that, I don't think you'll see Dylan drop out of DECA. Rich and Ryan had already done so. And then other than that on the list, I don't really see anyone else that is, goes there. I mean, so I don't think that'll affect it too much. Maybe
has Dylan told you that, or you just think he just likes it too much to leave?
No, I've talked with Dylan a little bit, right? Like he hasn't out and out said that, but if they're paying him, he's going. And now
if they catch up, then he'll go back.
That's right. And now him and when him and Megita had their little, I don't know what you'd call it, the post when they made a stink. People did start to get paid. So that was very helpful, and it's a very good thing they did it. So
you hear that, people? Don't be afraid to post. That's how shit gets done.
Wheel gets the grease, man.
Squeaky wheel gets that do re mi.
Especially when you're dealing with Spartan.
How far down do you think a roll down goes this year? Like last year, we saw Dylan sitting in 26th or 27th, and he got the roll down to the DC race, and he won. Okay. So does Rich, if he doesn't improve his spot from 23rd, or Colin from 24th, do they get a roll down eventually, or is that too far at this point? These are too valuable of races. Nobody past 20 will get a roll down anymore.
There'll be roll downs big time for Hong Kong. And the question is, who's going to say, all right, I'm going to take a shot.
I think more people go than you believe. I think they're willing to travel with how big HYROX is getting.
The Euros, you mean, not the Americans?
Both.
It's a long flight, dude.
I know.
You know something we don't know? Listen, I see, like, I could see, let's just say Meg and Hunter, who are currently, we've understood, signed big deals, right? So they're making some good money, right? And their sponsors might even send them, so they even do that on the company dime. So I see them going.
I don't think Hunter goes. I don't think Hunter goes at all this year. I think he waits until next year.
Like
if I was Puma, I'd be like, get your ass on a plane, get over there.
He's already said he's going to LA or Anaheim or whatever in December. I don't think he does Hong Kong 3 or 4 weeks before it. Like,
do you think Meg will do? Do you think Meg will do all the majors?
I think, I think she'll do all of them.
She'll get paid to go.
How many will Lauren do? Do you think?
As many as we can.
So, well, you know what they are.
As of today.
I mean, what other races? Like, what if we want to jump in more? Like Vegas, for sure.
What if there's another Middle East race that pays out?
I'm just asking about the majors. Just the majors. If you don't want to speak on it, that's fine. I don't want to be in your business too much, but she is one of the athletes and you happen to know her schedule. So does she plan on doing all 4 majors? That's all I'm asking. If you don't know yet, that's fine.
We don't know yet.
Okay. And yeah, I would definitely go get that dough in the Middle East if it's there. Why not?
Yeah, you never know what other races will pop up and say, here, we're going to offer prize money. So, or like exactly what you're talking about. The sponsors say, hey, you have to run this race or this race and go spend 2 hours at the event at our booth because that's part of your contract. So you never know. Like maybe that's part of.
So why wouldn't they make Hunter go? I guess. Why wouldn't they make him go? Why would they let him?
Because Hunter's Hunter.
Hunter does what he wants.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I could say I don't think Hunter does anything before Vegas, and I don't think he does anything after Vegas.
So you think he gets in and then he waits till, or he does double stuff, as he has said, but
so I think he's going to do double stuff for the first part of the year. I shouldn't say he's not going to go to any races. I don't think he's going to run a solo race, maybe LA and maybe Las Vegas, and then like that the way he trains, how focused he is on the singular race, you can't do that all year.
Yeah.
And he's taking a break. He's doing lots of strength stuff. Like right now he's set, focus on LA, focus on Vegas, do doubles things, like get your stuff like that, and then prepare for Worlds. And that's a good season for him. I don't think he changes up going to 4, 5, 6 races.
No, I say he hits 3 max.
I think he hits 2 solos and then Worlds, and then he might hit 2 or 3 more doubles.
I like I said, I think 3 max.
Well, I'm going to pre-register for Barcelona now in case it gets sold out and I want to try that LCQ.
Get in on it.
All right, gents. I think it's time to wrap up. We're approaching the 2-hour mark. I did have some other notes. We can save those. Yeah. I would like to bring more special guests on, some of them that couldn't make it this week, many other elite athletes. And Emily Waldman also kicked into the coffee club. Thank you, Emily. You rock. Thanks for commenting all day. We do this every week at 5:30 Eastern. And then if you listen to the podcast version, this comes out on Tuesday mornings. Dave, is it just you and the wonderful Bethany shooting the shit this week, or do you have a guest?
I will have a guest, but I don't want to say who until it's all recorded and done.
Is it Anthony Parasini?
It is not, but it should be. We definitely need to have Anthony on.
Did you hit a milestone? Did you post episode like 150 or 200 recently?
I didn't know we're 199. So
That's pretty
200 's the
impressive.
next one.
That's pretty impressive.
Who would have thought it, eh? Yeah. Well, 99. Next one will be 200. And I can honestly say we do not have anything really special planned because that's just not what we do.
That's not what you do.
That's not
All
what
right.
we do.
I will. I'll talk to you soon, gents.
All
Take
right.
care.
Have a good one.
Now we do that thing where we smile until it goes away.